Liz's recommendation? Okay. A, Liz conducted work on her own and failed to collaborate with stakeholders. Liz failed to make multiple elicitation techniques, so decision makers were hesitant to believe the identified root causes. Liz presented her work to key stakeholders versus the decision maker, or the director didn't support the financial assumptions in the analysis and so had little faith in the overall cost benefit analysis. So she met with the customers to identify the root causes. She researched a solution. She performed the detailed cost benefit analysis for each option. So which one is the right answer according to the BABOK? It sounds like
we probably cannot say that it's A, right? Because she had a focus group,
right?
The customers are part of stakeholders, so I would eliminate A right away.
On the other hand, she did A on her own with the customers, but not with the stakeholder.
She
and
didn't
not
bring
with the director.
Right. It sounds like the director and other key stakeholders weren't aware of what she was doing or what her results were turning out to be. So this was brand new information to them. She did use focus groups only, and so she did not use multiple elicitation techniques, but you don't always have to use multiple elicitation techniques.
Yeah, looks like A in this case. Because, I mean, presented her work to a key stakeholder versus decision maker. I mean, so what? Decision maker, I mean, a key stakeholder can push it to decision maker. I think maybe A then.
Let's try A and see what it says the answer is. Correct. The theme of collaboration to promote and ensure buy-in is prevalent throughout strategy analysis, but is introduced in the BACCM for chapter BABOK table 6.0.1. So basically she did all this work, but she didn't bring these people in the loop of what she was doing or what her findings were. So whenever she presented everything finished, they hadn't had a chance to really think about it and process it. So they weren't ready to buy in on it. I've seen that happen in real life. Okay, which of the following statements best describes the role of domain SME in defining the change strategy? Authorizes and ensures funding for solution delivery, ensures the change will function within acceptable parameters, ensures adherence to various regulations, or develops a financial analysis for strategy selection. Role of the domain SME in defining the change strategy.
It looks B to me. I read part of the chapter, so
good for you.
Only part, not whole. I think it's B. How about others?
Okay, let's check it.
I agree with B. Let's see.
Oh, that's the tester role. The domain SMEs have in-depth knowledge or expertise in some aspect of the change. A financial analysis is the domain SME. So the domain SME.
That's a totally stupid question.
You want it flagged, Bob?
Oh yeah, flag that to death.
All right, it is flagged.
The most general answer for that situation by far.
Okay. According to the BABOK, what is a business analyst?
What is
business analysis? Thank you. The process of eliciting, documenting, and managing requirements throughout the life cycle of a project. The practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. A collection of pre-project and early project activities and approaches for capturing the necessary view of the business to provide context to requirements and functional design work for a given initiative and/or for long-term planning. A set of stakeholder needs that are elicited, analyzed, structured, and specified for the use in design or implementation of a solution.
Well, I would go with B.
Me too.
Yeah.
B as in boy?
Boy, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Business analysis enables the enterprise to articulate needs and the rationale for change and to design and describe solutions that can deliver value. As part of identifying and understanding an organization's business rules, Dakota has created plans to present a class diagram to business stakeholders to validate her findings. She received significant pushback from stakeholders saying the model was too technical. What could Dakota create that might be more business friendly? A state diagram, a data model, a concept model, or a PowerPoint presentation bulleting the business rules? They would probably be more familiar with the PowerPoint.
Right.
Yeah, or
Yes, for
concept.
sure.
Concept model is a pretty high level document.
Yeah, might not have business rules, right? Concept model.
I don't know.
But indeed, it's like business rules.
Yeah, this is only business
bullet.
rules.
Right.
Yeah, doc, D-doc.
Okay, let's try it. It's a concept
Concept
model.
model.
Cliff is right. A concept model can be used when
Oh,
stakeholders
man.
perceive class diagrams to be too technical and the initiative needs to capture large numbers of business rules. So concept models do have business rules. Kathy is analyzing the current state and working with her team and stakeholders to identify and define why the requested change is needed. What is the output of the task Kathy is working on? Is it going to be elicitation results that are confirmed, business goals, business requirements, or stakeholder engagement approach? So she's analyzing the current state and working to identify and define why the change is needed. So it's still current state.
I'll go with C.
Me too, C, Cat.
Very good. Business requirements are defined from analyzing the current state.
Can we go back one?
Absolutely.
Just so you know, in my sixth loop kind of way I think about things, building a conceptual model on exactly what's going on right now is a major phase in what we do, and there are many ways to communicate the findings in that, but the main thing to remember is to communicate your findings of the current state in a way that is accessible to the stakeholders and participants.
I agree. One of the biggest things that I have challenges with is figuring out how to document and present the information in such a way where everybody that has to see it can understand the same thing. And if you have people that are very, very technical and people that are very, very not technical, sometimes you have to create two different documents so that the technical people can see what they need to see, but the same information that is needed for the business is in a different document. The challenge to that is you have two different documents to keep track of and update.
I always try to do pictures and architecture diagrams or flow diagrams or whatever, and have everything flow from that in support. And
Yep.
that usually helps everyone understand things really clearly.
I agree.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and animation is 1,000 pictures.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Number 9, you have encountered a huge mental block in determining solution options for your project, and the project implementation date just got moved up. You need options and you need them fast. Which of the following will best help you? Brainstorming, interviews, focus group, or benchmarking?
A.
B.
Apple.
I agree with you. A.
I agree with you. Brainstorming can produce creative ideas quickly, and theoretically, you brainstorm with a small group of people so that you kind of build on each other's ideas. And if you have encountered a huge mental block, maybe they haven't. Which techniques might you use during the assess risks task? Brainstorming, benchmarking, lessons learned, brainstorming, functional decomposition, root cause analysis, brainstorming, financial analysis, lessons learned, or brainstorming, root cause analysis, and variance analysis. So we're doing the assess risks task. Which of these are assessing risks?
I think C. Financial, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, lessons learned. Kind of.
We've got lessons learned here and we've got it up here.
Yeah,
So
but benchmarking isn't really risk.
I agree.
Well, it
Financial
could
analysis.
be comparative risk because you want to make sure you're doing everything your competitors do. So this is, all these answers are actually quite plausible. So this is a case where you have to know what the book actually says.
So it's not A and D for sure. It can be B or C. I don't know why I'm thinking C.
Well, let's try
I
C and
don't
see
know
what we get.
why you think it cannot be A or B, but
Why?
right.
Mhm.
Well, tell us why you think it wasn't A.
Because you don't do assess risk with benchmarking. And D, variance analysis is not discussed at all. And
Okay.
it kind of, I don't think it's used with assess risk as well.
Okay, very good.
I'll
That's-
give you D, but benchmarking absolutely could be used.
Could be.
If other companies have identified risks and they've documented in their benchmarking, it could be. Typically, you don't see risk in benchmarking so much, though. Usually it's achievement based on amount of time and cost.
Well, it's also a market risk of either doing or not doing what your competitors are doing.
That's true.
That's important.
I want to note, if you haven't read the BABOK and haven't read about benchmarking, benchmarking is typically, nobody can how do I say this? I said it really well when I wrote it in the BABOK. If you look at the company that's doing this one process the very best, nobody else is probably going to do it exactly as good as that one company because they've had more time and effort and training and people know how to do it and they've already used the process. Trying to emulate someone else's process is good to help yourself get better, but you're never going to be as good as the person that created the benchmark or the company that created the benchmark. Benchmarking is just a guide to give you ideas. So don't think that you can achieve someone else's benchmark just because they have it documented.
I
Okay.
interpret the meaning of benchmarking differently. It's identifying what other companies are doing to see if those are targets you want to shoot at. I know, for example, when Ford designed the Taurus, they looked at all the other cars in every feature possible, all over the interior, exterior, and so on. And they listed the features they'd include based on that for different levels of trim. And that's absolutely can affect risk analysis. Might be more of a Kano thing, but I look at it as general. Also, I've done this for figuring out different kinds of simulation to build in features to include. All of those are benchmarking. Finding out what the industry state of the art is benchmarking. Finding out explicit numerical thresholds is benchmarking. It's a fairly general term,
Okay,
my opinion.
Oh, 11, we did not answer it yet.
I apologize.
Mhm.
Business analysis utilizes the enterprise to assess its capacity to make the change and to sustain the change in the future. What is this element called? Is this the enterprise readiness assessment, organizational capability assessment, enterprise capability assessment, or organizational readiness assessment?
I think it's called B. Boy.
I'm going A.
It's either A or D.
2 votes for A. What does anybody else think?
I'm vote for B, boy.
Anybody else?
I'd go for
Okay.
B too.
Oh, you just tied us up. Okay, I need somebody who hasn't spoken to speak up. Okay, gonna see what A is. The readiness assessment considers the enterprise's capacity to make and sustain the change, but also realize value from its solution. Enterprise readiness assessment is the answer. Okay, who would like to read this one?
I can. Clara is a new BA on initiative. Thomas, the BA who defines the business need and future state, was transferred to the company's headquarters. The instructions he left Clara were to look at the existing capabilities related to the business need and desired outcomes and figure out what was needed to realize the future state. Clara was unsure of what capabilities meant, thinking that they were system features. Thomas coached her that capabilities could include lines of service, processes, products, B, functions, processes, and solution scope, C, functions, processes, locations, D, functions, processes, products. I believe is A.
Anybody else? Let's try A. The correct answer is functions, processes, and locations. These are the 3 of multiple capabilities.
Location is capability.
Yeah, let's look this up. Okay. Point 2. Processes, functions, lines of business, organizational structures, staff competencies, knowledge and skill, training, facilities, locations, data and information, application systems, and technology infrastructure. These are all potential places that you'll have gaps. Now we know. William conducted a brainstorming session with several key stakeholders to generate potential solutions. They identified several possible ways to satisfy the business objectives of an organization. How will William ultimately determine which solution options to seriously consider? He could use the Delphi technique to objectively prioritize a list of options. In part, he will calculate the opportunity cost of each option. Initially, he will discuss the option at a high level with the sponsor in order to determine which option to pursue further, or he would ask the team to prioritize the options based on their collective expertise. So these are several key stakeholders have come up with these options.
It could be D, dog. Not A.
No, D sounds right, because why would you have the stakeholders if you're not gonna ask their opinions and prioritize based on it?
Seems good to me. The correct
Yeah.
answer, though, is in part he will calculate the opportunity cost of each option, but he may do that with the stakeholders as well. In addition to calculating the opportunity cost, the BABOK mentions understanding the quantitative and qualitative value of each option along with the time needed to achieve each future state. But that information is going to come from the knowledgeable stakeholders also.
Exactly.
I'd like to flag this
The
question.
more general answer.
I'd like
Yeah.
to flag this question. Does
Yeah.
anyone object?
I think that's what happens in real life, D, at least on the projects I'm on.
I agree. I'm thinking when we rewrite the BABOK, we ought to start with the questions that need to be answered and go from there.
And I'm also looking at in the book, I don't see 624.2. It's called scope of solution space.
62.4.
Yeah, it's a page 114 paper book.
Okay.
I mean, they mention only one time opportunity cost. The last sentence, and that's it, yeah?
Yeah, they do.
That's why D is the better answer.
It really is. It's just not in the BABOK stated in that way. We're going to make it so much better when we rewrite it, guys.
Yeah, well, this is very discerning. Like, I feel like I have to memorize the entire book to pass this test.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Well, as I've said many times, I think the test questions, while they are frustrating and while the exam is tiring to take, those questions are better than these. These are often too ticky-tacky.
Yeah. Well, I know that the people that wrote the actual test questions and the people that write these test questions are working together, but I can't tell you what percentage they are. Okay.
It's also, again, hard to write test questions on this material.
I agree. Okay, can somebody tell me what SWOT analysis means? What is that an acronym for?
Strength,
Someone
weakness,
else
opportunity,
go
threat.
first. Go ahead.
Strengths, weakness, opportunity, threat.
Perfect. Okay. How would a SWOT analysis be beneficial to the business case? Establishes key metrics to ensure the project performance goals are being met. Provides side-by-side comparison of the various change strategies. Provides a vendor assessment for the purchasing or outsourcing of the solution to ensure the right vendor is selected. Or forecast the size of investment required to deploy and operate the proposed solution.
What kind of options is this? What kind of options? Okay, let's think about it. Business case.
To the business case. So what we want to do is solve a problem and we think we have the solution to solve the problem. Is it the vendor assessment?
No. And not for a cost the size of investment? No. I don't know, I'm inclining B, boy. Establishing key metrics, I mean, I've been doing SWOT analysis. I don't remember establishing any key metrics from that. I don't know.
Let's find out.
I agree with B.
Correct, yes.
B was correct. SWOT outlines strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. As such, it could be used to support a decision regarding a change strategy. So you're basically going to do a SWOT for each of the different change strategies instead of all the change strategies in a single SWOT. Very good. Why is it important for business analysts to familiarize themselves with relevant business policies while utilizing the current state? Policies describe the organization's governance structure, which is important for the BA to thoroughly understand to align to the requirements of the enterprise. Policies will provide the BA insight with how existing work is performed. Policies contain decision-making roles and responsibilities, and policies contain constraints within which potential solutions must be developed.
C, cat. I
This
think I
one?
need to, I think I need to shut up by now because of
Um,
me who is talking.
Maybe another option D to think about. The policies contain constraints. That's what I remember I read in BABOK, like policies linked to that, to the constraint.
Okay, we've got a vote for
That-
C and a vote for D. Who else wants to vote?
Bob,
Bob, do you have a vote?
He left. I don't see him.
I'll go with D.
Okay, we got 2 for D. Let's go. D is
Yeah.
correct. Identification of relevant policies may also shape the scope of the solution. Very good.
what I mixed up with something.
Mark and his team are working to complete a gap analysis in order to write a business case to obtain funding for an initiative. The future state is defined and risks have been identified and assessed. Before long, the team realizes they are missing a key input to complete the analysis. What is it? A comparison of requirements from key stakeholders, transition requirements, the change strategy, or definition of the current state. If they have a gap analysis, they must have the current and future states. No, it doesn't say that. It says the future state is defined. They don't have the current state.
So then change strategy.
If they don't have the current state, we need the current state.
D,
Because to do a gap analysis, you do a current state versus future state and identify what's different, what has to be changed.
All right.
I don't know. It could be the definition of the change strategy. Let's find out. Okay, the current state capabilities are needed to determine the gap between today and what will be needed in the future state. Which of the following is not a direct input in the define change strategy task? Future state description, solution recommendations, stakeholder engagement approach, or risk analysis results?
C,
Say it again.
C. C is in cat.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. The correct answer is solution requirements. Solution requirements is not an input, rather a guideline and tool along with the business analysis approach and design options. Anybody have a question with this one or want to flag it? Okay. Baruch is a business analyst working with the business owner to define the business requirements related to the new opportunity in his organization. He works in a company that produces bathroom fixtures. The company is known not only for the high-end fixtures that are sold worldwide, but for its outstanding customer service. What factors will Farouk consider in order to document business requirements? Farouk will focus on understanding why the change is needed along with the expected benefits from pursuing the opportunity. Farouk needs a thorough understanding of the opportunity and possible benefits given organizational constraints, the underlying source of the opportunity and the associated risk and their costs, or Farouk needs to understand the cost of doing nothing, in other words, not pursuing the opportunity. So they have a new opportunity.
I mean, the first step is but opportunities also can be changed, right?
Yeah,
That's why I'm looking at A.
it doesn't say that the
And
company
can
has any
be.
deficits. Okay, somebody else give me an answer.
Or A or B. Hold on.
Anybody else want to vote?
I guess A. I'm gonna go A.
Yeah,
Two for
I'll go with
A.
A too.
The
Yeah.
correct answer is B. The word thorough is key here in business requirements as primary output for the analyzed current state task. Understand constraints is also specifically mentioned in the definition of business requirements. So he needs a thorough understanding of the opportunity and possible benefits given the organizational constraints.
It seems to be that B is the most general answer because the opportunity could be anything. And I mean, maybe they're gonna make carpets, maybe they're gonna do customer service for other things, who knows? And everything else was too specific.
Yeah. This question doesn't seem to have a lot of value in teaching us.
I agree. And all the answers are very similar.
Yes, I'd like to flag this question. Realizing we're not trying to fix their questions, but they need to know there's problems. Derek and his team are brainstorming alternative approaches to a defined change. What task is Derek performing? Define change strategy, define future state, concept modeling, or develop recommendation. Okay, one of those I don't think is really a task in the BABOK. These are alternative approaches to a defined change.
I think it's A.
Future state?
Let's try it out.
April A should be.
You are right, Ilya. Define change strategy is the purpose of this is the purpose of defined change strategy task, is to define change strategy.
I thought that's so simple.
I was thinking about alternative approaches, and they were concentrating on the fact there is a defined change. So if there, so I'm thinking develop recommendation was my thought, or even future state, but they say the changes defined. So what are alternative ways to get there versus what are other changes that could be made?
So brainstorming alternative approaches is the strategy to achieve defined change. To achieve the change that has been defined.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone want me to flag this one?
Yes.
Okay. The level of frustration we are experiencing, just understand we're all experiencing it. That's one reason I want to be in on the rewrite of this book. Julia is a BA working to help business owner clarify the business need. The business owner wants to undertake an initiative to eliminate waste throughout her division. She says that such an initiative, which will be comprised of multiple projects, will have the benefits of improved safety, reduced time to deliver the organization's product, and increase customer satisfaction. The listed benefits are another way of articulating which of the following: business opportunity, the business objectives, the desired outcome, or future state description.
It can be C or D. I think it's C, Kat.
I'm going with C.
Let's find out. The correct answer is desired outcomes. Good job. The benefits referred to in the question are examples of desired outcomes. While the BABOK typically focuses on goals and objectives, it does use this term in description of how business cases are used in the defined future state task.
Wait, which option did we choose?
We choose C, but somehow it's ended up on B.
Right.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Wait a minute. Did we
Yeah,
choose?
We chose C,
Yeah, I
But-
saw you clicking on
but
C.
you notice it didn't put incorrect by B. So
It
that's
didn't.
weird. But because if we had chose B, it would have showed incorrect beside B and then show correct, but it just shows the correct.
You're
So-
right. We did choose C, and it's
Mhm.
now showing B, but we chose the right one. Okay.
A bug.
Which of the following is not a way to document a change strategy? A business case, a strategic plan, a project charter, or a product roadmap?
D is kind of stands out.
I agree. Anybody disagree with D? Let's find
That
out.
sounds good.
Okay. A strategy.
Roadmap is a series of changes through time. A business case is to make changes. A strategic plan is to figure out how to make changes, and the charter says go forth and make changes. So that's a tough question.
Do you want it flagged?
Well, the argument could be that the charter is figure out what needs to happen. And that is mostly to start the effort and not outline what you'll do during the effort. So that's probably the best answer. But I can always read too much into any of these ideas.
Me too. Also, some companies use a product to mean something that has multiple projects instead of a project that has multiple products. So the hierarchy on this gets a little confusing whenever you're thinking about the real world. But according to the
And
BABOK,
let's not even talk about programs.
I know. According to the BABOK, a strategy may be captured in a strategic plan, product vision, business case, product roadmap, or other artifacts. Which it says product roadmap as one of the things is correct. I'm going to flag this, guys, because right here is the
No,
answer.
The
that we
question, it
chose.
says, which of the following
No.
is not a way to document? A project
You're right.
charter is not a way.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for keeping me honest.
Oh, wow. What happens when you read?
Oh, man.
We all miss that. Or except for
Okay, I read it out loud and I missed it.
Mm.
ROI, return on investment, is a key component of any form of financial analysis contained within a business case. What does it stand for? Sorry, guys. I'm just overly helpful.
Yeah, just
B,
B.
internal investment.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can make mistake on this one.
That's a
Hey,
gimme.
People for a pass.
We got it. Okay, Gracie owns a small office building. She recently changed cleaning services to reduce employees. During the first week of the new service, she discovered that the change resulted in a change in the frequency of cleaning the bathrooms, as well as a change in the way tenants handled their trash. Since making the change, Gracie has received more complaints about the new cleaning service than she had in the prior 3 months total. What techniques might have helped Gracie with this change? Oh, setting good expectations. Performing a SWOT analysis and creating a scorecard. Developing business goals and objectives. Identifying what would make the future state acceptable and creating a business case. Or identifying what would make the future state acceptable and then assessing the potential value offered by vendors in relationship to that criteria.
I'll go A.
I think D.
I like D followed
though.
by A.
Okay, I've heard D and A.
Yeah,
Let's
I
try
went for
D.
D.
The correct answer is D. This is another way of saying acceptance and evaluation criteria and vendor assessment, both of which would have been valuable techniques.
So you want to objectively define the problem. So figuring out what the current vendor did would be an example of benchmarking. In failing to benchmark and compare against what the new vendor is going to do would create risk.
I agree. Who would like to read this one?
Our organization will be our customer service provider of choice as measured by a 95% loyalty score in the annual customer satisfaction survey by year 2000. What is the statement? What is the statement an example of? A, business goal, B, business objective, C, business goal and objective, D, business vision and mission.
Objective B,
What does
or goal and objective.
Yeah, it can be objective,
Either
can be
A
goal
or
and
B.
objective.
Well, let's find out. Correct. The business goal is a statement of what the organization hopes to achieve, and objectives are measurable results to indicate if the goal is achieved. Okay, the second question for the same scenario. How can the above statement be utilized? As a constraint in the development of the solution scope, as input to define the change strategy, as a way to describe the future state and guide the change strategy, as a way to describe gaps between the current and future states.
C. I vote for C, Kat.
Let's find out.
Is it this?
I'd
Okay,
say-
that's correct.
Business goals and objectives describe the ends the organization is seeking to achieve. Okay, let's get our scores. I took my glasses off. Where am I at?
Submit exam up. Yes.
Thank you. Few results. We are at 56%.
We got one right that it docked us for, so we were actually at 60.
Okay, let's take 60. Those of you who didn't get to join us at the very beginning of the meeting, we have free tickets to the Florida Technology Summit on November 11th in Tampa. If you would like to attend, or if you know anyone who would, send your email to my LinkedIn profile via Raisins, and I'll be glad to forward to you the email that has the passes in it. It's not limited to just our organization, but he did offer it to us, and we can pass it on to, you know, a certain number of people. We looked at the agenda, and it looks like there's a lot that's very security heavy, but there are some other things as well. Next week, we're going to go over the same chapter because it'll be our second time to go over the chapter. I encourage everyone to actually read the chapter. Let's try to get better than a 60% score. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
Sorry, I
will-
was late. Did anyone else start the recording earlier or?
Unfortunately, we were not able to. It says ask the coordinator or something like that to give you
So
permission.
annoying. Yeah, I think you have to come in as with the password that, yeah.
Yeah,
only
you gotta
have-
come in with that password, the
Yeah.
Tampa Bay chapter password.
Yeah, I was running late, had dinner plans, but all right, we got most of it.
Okay. We got most of it. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
see ya.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.